Call the city council meeting to order. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Lamore.
Present.
Felder.
Here.
Whitman. Here. Echoangeli. Here. Vining. Here. Germaine.
Here.
Mayor Clark.
Here, ask we all please rise for the invocation. Remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Guide our working together, give us wisdom to make the right decisions, your understanding to listen to each other, and your compassion to promote the peace and welfare of the residents of this community.
Thank you. With us this evening is Troop 505, Boy Scouts. I'd ask that a representative come up and call his troops to order and then lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Scouts, attention and salute. May the audience please remove all non-religious headgear and join with me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Two. The audience may be seated.
Thank you. As we get into comments, I think we'll have an opportunity to hear from the scout leader from Troop 505 on their attendance here today. Clerk, next item, please.
The next item would be any amendments to the agenda.
Looking to administration or council, any amendments to the agenda? Seeing none. Next item.
The next item are any citizen comments not related to an agenda item.
So we'll take citizens' comments at this time. Rules of the chamber, of course, when we speak, mindful of everybody's time and ask you look at the 3-minute timeline. We have a conversation, but this time I'd first ask the scout leader from 505 to Troop 505 to come forward, introduce himself, maybe his troop, and where you're from, and the purpose of your visit here this evening for us and for all those that are watching.
Thank you, Mayor. My name is Benjamin Rhodes. I'm the scout leader for Troop 505. We're sponsored by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Monroe, and we have a number of our young men here tonight that are working on their citizenship in the community badge in order to attain the rank of Eagle. 2 of them are within a rank of Eagle. The rest of them should be there within the next year or so. So this is important and critical for them to be involved in the community and to be able to move forward in their scouting.
This is great. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. And our best wishes from the council to those that are working toward their Eagle Scout and all the other merit badges they earn along the way for the entire troop. Other comments from those present here this evening? Yes, sir. And as we get coming forward, of course, there's comments at the beginning and also at the end of each council meeting. Yes, sir.
Mayor, Council, Firefighter Little, Monroe City Fire Department. I'd like to inform everybody of our annual Thanksgiving dinner that's coming up next week on Wednesday, November 27th at the Oaks of Righteousness Village at 924 East 2nd. We will be having dinner from every hour from 3 to 6 p.m. and everybody in the city is welcome to come. And hope to see you guys there.
For a little, the date again, I'm sorry?
It'll be November 27th, Wednesday.
7th, thank you.
Day before Thanksgiving.
Yes, thank you. Other comments from those present here this evening, not related to an agenda item? Seeing none, clerk, next item, please.
The next item is under council action, item 2598, Infrastructure Design Award for former Lazy Boy World Headquarters site.
Thank you, Mr. Pastou, as a start.
Thank you, Your Honor. I know we talked quite a bit about this a few minutes ago during our work session, but we're requesting City Council to approve a proposal from Manick & Smith in the amount of $202,211 related to the Phase 1 design for the infrastructure at the Lazy Boy site.
Thank you. So the, I guess it's got to either come to the floor or comments or discussion or a motion to bring it to the floor. Councilman Vining.
I make a motion that the attached proposal be awarded to the Manick and Smith Group in the amount of $202,211 for both activities. That total of $232,000 being covered to include a 15% contingency that the Director of Engineering and Public Services be authorized to execute the agreement on behalf of the city, and that the Director of Finance be authorized to set up any necessary accounts and make any necessary budget amendments on item 2598.
There's a motion by Councilwoman Vining, supported by Councilman Lamore on item 2598, the Infrastructure Design Award for the former Lazy Boy World Headquarters site. For call, any comments for the roll? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Moore?
Yes.
Felder?
Yes.
Whitman? Yes. Echoangeli?
No.
Vining? Yes. Jermaine?
Yes.
Mayor Clark?
Yes. Next item, please. Thank you.
Next item is item 2600, Lazy Boy Site Pre-Demolition Bid Specifications and Bid Administration Proposal.
Mr. Pastu, information, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Again, we're asking City Council to approve a proposal from AKT Peerless to develop the pre-bid specifications and bid administration services that would go along related to the demolition and environmental remediation of the Lazy Boy headquarters site at 1284 North Telegraph in the amount of $15,000 plus reimbursable expenses.
Thank you. Any comments from council? If not, motion is in order.
Your Honor. Motion that we approve the proposal submitted by AKT Peerless to develop bid specifications and to provide bid administration services related to the demolition and environmental remediation of the former Lazy Boy headquarters site, 1284 North Telegraph, in the amount of $15,000 plus reimbursable expenses, and authorize the city manager to sign any documents on behalf of the city.
Motion by Councilman Lamore, supported by Councilwoman Germaini on item 2600, the Lazy Boy Site Pre-Demolition Bid Specifications and Bid Administration Proposal. No other comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Lamore?
Yes.
Felder?
Yes.
Whitman? Echoangeli?
Yes.
Vining?
Yes.
Jermaine?
Yes.
Mayor Clark?
Yes. Next item, please.
The next item is item 2589, Resolution to Approve Obsolete Building Rehab Act Incentive 101 West First Street.
Your Honor, this item was tabled from the last meeting to come back with an agreement of which we have not prepared one. I'm going to ask Mr. Buds to talk a little bit about the prospective motion to keep this item going forward. So,
Thank you. Mr. Buds?
Your Honor, since the work on the development agreement continues and the item was tabled at a prior meeting to avoid that matter dying for lack of action today, my recommendation would be that a motion be made to postpone that item until the December 2nd meeting of City Council.
December 2nd.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion that we postponed item 2589 until December 2nd.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Michelangelo, supported by Councilman Lamore, that item 2589 be postponed until the December 2nd City Council meeting. Comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Lamore?
Yes.
Felder?
Yes.
Whitman?
Yes.
Echoangeli?
Yes.
Vining?
Yes.
Jermaine?
Yes.
Mayor Clark?
Yes.
The next item is the consent agenda, and for item B, approval of payments to vendors in the amount of $1,609,957.15. 1609957.15.
Thank you. Are there any items on the consent agenda that council wishes to have pulled for further discussion? Any items on the consent agenda? Are there any items on the consent agenda those present here this evening wish to have pulled for further discussion? Any items on the consent agenda from those present? Seeing none, a motion's in order.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion that all of the items that the consent agenda be approved and various resolutions and recommendations be carried out.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Michelangelo, supported by Councilman Lamore, that all items on the consent agenda be accepted, placed on file, and the recommendations carried out. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Lamore?
Yes.
Felder?
Yes.
Whitman? Yes. Echoangeli?
Yes.
Vining?
Yes.
Jermaine?
Yes.
Mayor Clark?
Yes. Next item.
I have no further items, Your Honor.
So this time is opportunity for council comments, and I know that the Troop 505 is here, and I kind of went through the agenda quickly. I'll make some comments to that of the agenda process and things like that to help maybe some understanding as well. But also, as I said, there's always time after the meeting to have conversations with any council member, the clerk treasurer, or the city attorney or manager. Councilman Lamore, first.
Number one on my list, the Veterans Day snowfall and flag dedication, which was held last Monday. I'd like to send out a big thank you to Brad Willie and the rest of the park staff for having Veterans Park ready for the ceremony by shoveling the walks and the parking lots. He did a great job, and everybody was able to traverse the area and get the ceremony underway and carry out all of the actions that were necessary. It was a fantastic ceremony, and I think they did an excellent job, and a great way of showing how our city staff works hard and is dedicated to making sure all of our parks are ready for people to use them. Looking forward to digging in the public safety assessment and getting where we need to be for the foreseeable future with public safety in Monroe. Another note, I was sent an email, and I think all of us were sent an email by a resident regarding the turn signals at Monroe and Elm and Monroe and Front. And I defer this to Pat. I believe that we don't have the rights to change the timing on those lights. Am I correct in saying that? Thank you. So I think I responded with that statement to the resident. Just wanted to make sure everybody's aware that we don't control the timing of those lights. They seem very long and excessive on Elm and Front, but that's not by our doing, that's MDOT. Correct me if I'm wrong. Thank you. Lastly, I want to thank Troop 505 for leading us tonight, and good luck to the scouts working on their Eagle projects. And that's it, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Lamore, or Councilman Felder, I'm sorry.
Just a thank you to everyone who showed up on Election Day. Participation matters, and your voice, as always, was heard. Happy Veterans Day for all those who served, and had a great time at the VFW Hall over on Veterans Day. A special thanks to Bob Schnurr and Vice Commander Al Bond. I had a great time, and you guys were awesome. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilwoman Whitman.
I have no comments at this time.
Thank you. Councilman Michelangeli.
Yes, I have a couple of comments, Your Honor. First, maybe I'll ask Mr. Pastu, who on the administrative staff kind of champions the My Monroe app?
In a lot of ways, Jody Egan, our communication, I do get, the escalations that come up with that. And in some ways, I almost apologetic that I don't monitor it as close as I should. I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
So
The question I have is, now that we've been into it for about a year, are we able to take a look at what categories get used most often?
that we have.
And
yes,
because the one that I seem to always put in, which I have somewhat, I just kind of pick and choose, is shopping carts. And you have to put them under other or general nuisance. So, if you take a look at the frequency of the categories that pop up, maybe we can make the menus a little bit more user-friendly
Yeah.
to what people are responding to. Okay, I guess that's where I'm going with it. Okay.
I know that there's analytic capabilities with that, and I've been mentally wanting to just say, okay, give me what type of responses we're getting.
Yeah,
So-
I happened to be on the phone last week with Captain Wall. He called me right away because I filed it under a general nuisance complaint. And then I thought about, well, it's not really a general nuisance, but then there's really nothing in there that's, so I mean, it's, maybe we could just make it a little bit more user-friendly.
Yep.
Question for the fire staff that is here. Are you having breakfast with Santa this year?
That's going to be coming up December 7th.
December 7th, breakfast with Santa? Okay, December 7th. All right. I didn't make any comments during the discussion with the contract on Manick and Smith, but I did vote no. But I do want to comment in case residents, because I usually express my concerns. My concern was I was very uncomfortable with issuing a $232,000 contract without going through a competitive RFP process. My thought was that during the time that the city attorney was working out the final details on title issues and easements, which took between 2 and 3 months, I thought that provided the city administrative staff ample time to go out, seek proposals, at least qualifications from other firms, to see if we are indeed getting the best firm to do this job. I know that the developer wants to work with a local firm. However, this is a partnership project. And it's just, we're one of the equal partners in this, that we need to be satisfied, or at least I did, that the firm that's going to be engaged knows how to do this type of project. Because if we end up with nothing more than a curb cut, a traffic signal, an asphalt parking lot, and a couple big boxes, I'm going to be extremely disappointed based on all the work that we've done, both the city and the Lazy Boy Corporation. It never hurts going out for proposal, especially on a project like this, to make sure that we're getting people that understand how to do redevelopment projects, how to make sure that we are creating a special place for this community. All right, but that's water over the dam. My comment now is, I don't want to see this happen again from my perspective. So I'm going to ask the city administration to put on the workshop agenda. I would like to have a formal policy in place from now on that any contracts over a certain amount of money have to go out for a competitive either request for qualifications or request for proposal. I went back through the last 6 years of meeting minutes, and especially in the area of engineering services, we have always just kind of given projects to engineering firms based on timing, based on the fact that they have done the previous topographic survey, based on the fact that we have to have a quick turnaround, and that is not acceptable to me under municipal government. So we need to have a better policy in place relative to how we are going to engage firms in our infrastructure program, which we spend millions of dollars a year. That's the reason why I voted no. It's not that I'm not in favor of this project. I am. As a matter of fact, on council, I was the one that pulled it off the agenda when the Planning Commission wanted to rezone it for light industrial and turn it into an indoor warehouse. So there's no one up here, and we all are committed. But I am extremely committed to make sure that this project happens correctly. That's the reason why I voted no. Have nothing personal against Manick & Smith. I just don't know if they're the best qualified firm to deliver the expectations and the visions that we have in the MKSK sub-area plan that we commissioned over $50,000 for. Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have.
Councilwoman Vining.
Yes, I wanted to ask about the citizen who came in last week talking about the Mason Run sidewalk.
Sure,
lack
and
of sidewalk.
yeah, and Mr. Pastu did a follow-up on his manager's report for that, so I think it's a good time to share that information not only with the council again, but also to those here because he did come with and send us all some good information as well. Mr. Pastu, if you could.
Your Honor, yes, we did follow it up at the staff meeting the next morning for discussion. During the meeting, Mr. Sell reminded us that there was an account balance left with the developer of that. I think Crosswinds. There's about 78,000 in there. Afterwards, Mr. Lewis and I took a drive up there and kind of assessed his concern. And yes, there is quite a bit of void in that neighborhood north of East Noble. So his department will be engaged in putting together the specs to fill the void using the proceeds that we had escrowed from that development. Regarding the house that was not built, I think I got something from late this afternoon from Mr. Greenhall, our building official, is that it looked like the last inspection was sometime in 2011. There are some complications that it's going to require a little more research in that the ownership of the property, and I think there is some, how should I say it, some not uncertainty related to the homeowners association that would have went in at that development had it proceeded further. So more research related to that and what options that we may have. But, from our end of it, we think there's probably sufficient money to finish up the sidewalk work, and that'll happen sometime in 2020.
Thank you.
Other comments?
That's all. Yeah.
Thank you. Councilwoman Germaini.
Well, the city has a lot of upcoming holiday events that we can all partake in through the holiday season. And I want everyone to enjoy their families for Thanksgiving next week. Enjoy the holiday. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. I just have a couple comments, maybe three this evening. First, remind those here and those watching, of course, the tree lighting will occur this Friday, which is traditionally the Friday before Thanksgiving. It will be in downtown Monroe. It's our homecoming tree lighting, as it's being called. It's in Loringer Square on Friday, November 22nd. Yeah, the activities through the evening are from 5:30 to 7:30. The tree lighting is at 7 o'clock. There'll be some new activities and opportunities to walk around downtown, so I'd invite all to come. I appreciate the kind of an ad hoc committee that of a couple people put together, plus city staff support, and of course Miss Egan and some communications that she's putting out, but also Miss Pat Weaver assisting from the administration office there to get that off and running. The John Tyner Chorale will be singing just before and after the lighting. Clerk Treasurer Lavoie, she's been assisting us as well as to make sure that we have the items in place for those that are bringing down a couple food truck items and some other displays that'll be down there. I'm not going to say it all. I hope you all come down and enjoy the evening. But again, it's Friday, this coming Friday, 5:30 to 7:30. Tree lighting is at 7. Thanksgiving, I think that is an opportunity as most holidays come around, but Thanksgiving in particular, when you think about the opportunity to review where we all are and what we have and how we can be a contributor and supporter in our community. I know that there was the firefighters talked about there's an opportunity if you want to participate and volunteer. There's many throughout the holiday season around Thanksgiving and right on through the end of the year. I'd ask that maybe everybody's take an opportunity to reflect and what we each can do to help others that might have a need and how we move forward in that. And there's so many that I think there's opportunities for a variety of places. So Troop 505, I'm glad you're here this evening. So tonight's meeting, we can talk after. We can just a real quick review. It seemed like it might have gone quickly. Just so you know that before the council meeting, we had a work session. In the work session, we actually talked about one of the items in a little bit of in-depth. The councilman, again, shared some input on that item as well. So the consent agenda, when it comes around, there's opportunities for a council member to get more information that they may be asking or those that are present. But these items that are on our agenda, in the most part, come forward to the council through a work session, through communications. We have fact sheets of detailed information, so it's not an item where we just have an agenda that is provided through the clerk's office, all the materials, but there's a lot of details in there that council, before they get here, does their diligence and reads. Those are available on the city's website. So I always tell those that may be coming for a reason, you can go to the city's website. The clerk ensures that it is posted. Some of the details, if you wondered what it was about why the wastewater treatment plant needs an air compressor, you can learn all about that in that fact sheet, as well as the other items that are here, and the surplus sale of equipment and other items. So I share that because I want you to know that there's some nights we're here long, sometimes it's short, but these items were well deliberated on, or looked at, I should say, by council prior to here. I think that's my comments for this evening. Clerk Treasurer Lavoie.
I have no comments, Your Honor.
Thank you. And thank you for the election and all the workers. A great job again. I appreciate all the workers that provide their time to volunteer. And you'll hear more about volunteering boards and commissions and opportunities here as we get into next month as we talk about that and ready for next year. Mr. Pastu, comments?
The only item I have, Your Honor, is again what we talked about during the work session. Administration's desire to meet with council related to the development agreement for the Lazy Boy site, which is near completion, as well as to discuss the structure of the brownfield redevelopment plan for that site and how the financing would work with that as well. I say that it would be obviously my desire to do a special meeting, but given where we are in the holiday season, whether you would contemplate doing next Monday night, or if you prefer, we can make arrangements to meet individually with council members. But we really would like to get in front of council to go through some of the details associated with it between now and our December 2nd meeting.
So I'm looking at council. Obviously, you're looking at if there's availability for a special meeting next Monday or meeting with council individually to have some of that conversation. Maybe a thought is to send out an email for a quick turnaround here by the, to see if that's possible, make sure we meet the timeline to post if everybody's available and can spend the time to have that discussion. It is important. And as I think Councilman said, as we started, there's a lot of input, a lot of work done by council and administration to get us to where we are. And now it comes to the plans for the development and keeping things on track for all. So I don't know what everybody's schedule is on Monday or not. Councilman Michelangeli?
Your Honor, I would recommend, I don't want to, if the administration has to meet with us individually, that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
I think it's appropriate that we have a special meeting and we just discuss it together.
And I think it's an opportunity also to share with the public that way, because it is, the idea is about timing, getting it done. So I'm looking at council to see if there's a conflict with Monday coming up. For the most part, I see yeses. There'll be a couple of little check, but I think it appears we'll at least have a quorum. And I think if there's a scheduled conflict with a council member, that follow-up then could be done individually as well. Plus it could be viewed. I know everybody wants to be here and be part of the discussion, because that's what we sit on council for. So right now, it looks like that next Monday is an option for a meeting. What time would that be? Is it 6?
If that works for everyone. The other part of it is, would it be possible to meet up on the third floor? I think part of it is using the smart board to go through some of the, certainly when we discuss some of the layout options, I think that would be preferential.
Okay.
Councilman?
Councilman?
Affect
That might.
video at all? Is this something that we want to?
Well, I think part of, and this is just, from my end of it is that you still ultimately will have to make the decisions in a public meeting, but this is probably, I think, more informative for the council to have an understanding of what we're looking at from a possible site layout. I don't know if it's possible for them to televise. Maybe, I think they could do it, but the quality is not going to be what you have for this meeting here.
Is this going to be a work session or a special meeting?
Vince?
Both.
You're asking for both?
I think we would have to probably post it. I'll look to the clerk and the city attorney as a special meeting, but it's functionally a work session. I'm not looking for any action or anything that
Question will
night.
be the deliberation or decision-making that you're looking for. And if it's not, then it could be a work session, but I'm going to look at the clerk for her input as well.
There's no intent to have any deliberation if you're not going to call for action and have council make a decision, then you could just have a work session.
Yeah, and that's the intent, is just to provide the information where we're at, get some feedback on a couple of items, and so, all right.
So we'll leave that to the administration to finalize the structure of what the meeting would be on Monday, and then we'll work with the clerk's office and to see about the location, what fits for the purpose intent for the meeting.
Good.
Very good. Mr. Pastu, other items? Okay. So comments for those present here this evening? Any comments from those present? Yes, sir? No. Wow.
Honorable Mayor and Council, Patrick Lewis, Director of Engineering and Public Services. I figured it was probably timely. The last date for yard waste collection would be the week of December 2nd. The reason I say that is we won't be meeting here until the 2nd, so the Monday people will miss their date. So if your date is a Thursday, it's December 5th. If it's Monday, it's December 2nd. But whatever your normal pickup day is, that's the last week of yard waste collection for the year, week of December 2nd.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Any comments from those present here this evening? Seeing no comments, a motion
Motion to adjourn.
There's a second. Motion by Councilman Moore, supported by Councilman Felder to adjourn. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Lamore?
Yes.
Felder?
Yes.
Whitman? Yes. Echoangeli?
Yes.
Vining?
Yes.
Germaine?
Yes.
Mayor Clark?
Yes.